Hello and welcome to the Music Department presentation on careers in the music curriculum. Careers in music are wide and varied, something that we'll look at in a moment. And one thing that here at the Ufcombe Academy we're quite keen to stress to our students is the obvious career in music is not the only career in music. So I'd like to get into a little bit of that to tell you what careers are available and to look at career and employability in music in a little bit more detail. The images on this slide here focus us on the areas that you might choose to work in the music industry, in the recording studio or with record labels. Performing is the obvious choice, but it's by far and away not the only choice. Writing music, working in film music, and the huge industry that is involved there. Journalism, in education, church music, in music industry touring careers. So much music going on around our country that you might want to get involved in, and it's a huge growth business. Public relations and advertising, working in radio, television, merchandising, at venues, managing venues, working in those venues. There's a large growing interest in how music and health are compatible, and music therapy is one area that a lot of people can go on to work in. Also working, creating, mending, selling instruments. There are various ways we explicitly look at the music industry in our music lessons. In Year 9, for example, we work on a unit that looks at organising a music festival and the various job roles associated with that. During Careers Week, we spend another lesson for our students focusing on the different pathways within the sector, some of which I've mentioned already in this presentation. There's a broad range of skills that you will develop in the music classroom that really make you a far more employable person. Independence when rehearsing and preparing work. Your broad cultural appreciation when we look at work from around the world and back in time in history. Your IT literacy is a significant part of what we do in our music lessons. Obviously, working as a team is something you're likely to have to do in the workplace, and it's certainly something that we do in music when we perform together. Solving problems, figuring a way to perform that piece of music, to develop that piece of work, to put that composition together. Presenting that work, your presentation skills, just focus and sheer hard work that it takes to develop your musicality. And what I've just mentioned there, these are some of the key ways in which music in the classroom contributes to your employability and future career. Outside of the classroom as well is an area where we're developing skills in our extracurricular work. Obviously, the ensemble work we do, the teamwork that involves, taking students on trips to venues where you can see these people working in the industry that are working the venues. Often when we do trips like this, I'm looking to make sure we've got a chance to talk to the people that are working in those industries at those venues, in those jobs that you might one day choose to work towards. We facilitate work experience with various local venues here in North Devon, and I've often sent music to work alongside professionals to experience their working lives. We've got good relationships with our local theatres and the various music professionals that we know in and around the area. We send students to study music and the arts regularly from our level 3 courses and on to further education from there, and many of them come back to us and let us know how they're getting on. Some of the students that have moved on from our school over the years are now back working in the area. For example, some of you may know Sorelli Strings, 3 string players, sisters, all who used to come to Ilfracombe College as it was then. They're now all working in North Devon as instrumental teachers in various schools and as performers in the shows, in the theatres, and in concerts around and about the area, making a living for themselves performing and playing music here in North Devon. Emily Reynolds, who attended the school about 4 or 5 years ago now. She went on to study music at Bristol University, and during that time took a job in a local music shop where she started to learn the craft and the art of the instrument technician. So that's at Studio 7 in Bristol. So she's now repairing instruments, mending instruments that people are bringing to her from across the southwest and the region. So these are students that you may have known in the past, or teachers who you may know now that used to come to our school that have gone on to work in the music industry. I hope you'll consider music as a potential career, but not just the obvious choice that, oh, I sing, I want to be a singer choice, but the whole depth of the industry in the music. It's a growth industry in the music. It's worth billions of pounds to the UK economy. And certainly there's an area in it for everyone that they may wish to choose in, no matter whether you're a musician or not. If you appreciate music, it's a great business to work in and maybe one you should consider.